Morning everyone, Dean Howell here. This is a recording for our interview coaching webinar from the 2nd of October. This webinar forms part of our daily series, and just to recap, Mondays will be our event webinars, Tuesdays services, Wednesdays of each week will be our job seeker services. So that'll include things like interview coaching, mentoring, and a whole range of other things. We've slightly changed it. We're combining those into one webinar now on a Wednesday. Thursdays, our products and projects. So if you've got products or projects you want to advertise, then that's the day to tune in or to provide me with that information. And Fridays is our business coaching webinars. So today is interview coaching for job seekers in the geospatial industry, although these sorts of tips can be used by anyone. Okay, so all right, so today we're going to just talk about the actual interview and questions that you might get asked and how to prepare for those questions. All right, so some of the standard questions that you might get asked. Why are you applying for the job? What do you know about our company? So companies want to know what you know about them. How much research have you done? What are your strengths and weaknesses? That is a standard interview question, and they're trying to understand what sort of person you are. And the way I'd like to try and answer that is to turn a weakness always into a strength. So as an example, you might say that a weakness is that you like to make sure that things are done well, but turn that around and make it a strength in that you know that the product that you produce is going to be good. Okay, the company will ask you to give you some examples of the work that you've done, how that can help them. All right, so be prepared for those sorts of things. How do you handle workplace conflict? If there's a HR person on the panel, these are their sort of questions, your OH&S and how you handle conflict, how well you work in a team environment. So whether you like to work in a team environment, whether you like to work by yourself, how well you're motivated in various environments. And this is the same sort of question. Do you work well unsupervised? So can you get on with the project? Do you need direction all the time? Do you like to work under those situations, or do you work better in a team? There's not necessarily wrong, but some people like to work, they work better by themselves. Other people work better in a team. Do you handle criticism? What they want to try and find out is how resilient you are, and what sort of processes you might go if someone did criticize you. All right, so they're just a quick list of standard questions that you may be asked. All right, now there's an endless possibility of questions that that an interview panel is going to throw at you, and it will depend on the sort of role that you're applying for. Now, obviously, if it's a very technical role, there'll be lots of technical questions that they'll throw at you, and I don't really want to go into that, because the technical questions, how have you used this GIS system? How have you used that? How well do you use this piece of equipment? You should be able to put your own list together of those sorts of questions. And it's really how you answer those generic questions which will be the difference between you getting the job or not, because your resume should have told them enough about your technical skills. And so you're at this point where you just really need to expand on some of those technical skills and answer the generic ones. So the way that you answer them will be the difference between winning the job and not. So write down your list of questions, write down your answers. Now, there's not always going to be that list. You might get thrown some, but the more you prepare, the more you'll be able to answer those questions better. The ones that they throw at you, the curly ones, the ones that come out from left screen. So list those questions. Don't just sort of walk into an interview unprepared. All right. So here is one real good piece of advice that I'd like to give you. All right. Use personal examples for every answer you give. Okay. So when they ask you about what your technical skills are, when they ask you about how you've handled conflict, when they ask you about your strengths and weaknesses, give personal examples. So here's an example that I've just put in for the presentation. So if they ask you, what is your experience with using MapInfo? Then you can say, well, when I worked for XYZ company, I used the MapInfo GI system to produce a range of maps that helped with the development of the rate system, or it helped with this and it helped with that. Give personal examples so they can actually understand, not just, yes, I've worked with MapInfo. They can see that from your resume. You now want to expand on it, and giving personal examples will show how you've used it. So structure your questions to always give your personal example as an answer. All right, here's one piece of great advice that I got a long time ago from a mentor of mine. As I said before, write down all your questions, write down your answers, but record your answers to those questions, and then listen to yourself. It's amazing what you'll find when you do that. You'll go through the process of, the first time you'll listen to it, you'll go, I would never hire myself. I mean, you might give a good polished answer first time, but when I did this as an example a long time ago, I was astounded at the way I sounded and the way that the answer came across, and I was stumbling. And by writing your questions down, writing your answers down, recording those, then that way you can listen to how it sounds. You can then refine it. So you might go through the process 4, 5, 10 times, to refine it to a point where, it sounds natural, it sounds convincing, it sounds genuine. That's what you want. Now, I give that piece of advice to pretty well everyone I give interview coaching to. Now, it's up to yourself. With smartphones and everything these days, you've got a recording device right there in your hand. You've got your computer, sit there and record yourself. Even using video to see how you react. Just get someone to throw questions at you when you're sitting around the dinner table. Just prepare and listen to yourself, the way you answer, get feedback from other people. Okay, all right. So that concludes today's webinar on interview coaching. We'll have another job seeker webinar next Wednesday. So tune in for that. If at any time you want to connect with me, just email me at dean@geospatialconnect.com. I'll be there. Join GeoSpatial Connect. If you're tuning in, there's a fair chance you are a member, but tell your friends about it. All right. And remember that we're doing daily webinars. Mondays is our events. So if you have an event that you'd like to publish, let me know and I will promote it during that the Monday webinar. Tuesday is our services webinar. So if you have a service you'd like to promote, let me know. Have a video of it, and we'll put that up. Wednesdays, our job seeker webinar, as like today. Thursday, products and projects, and then Friday, our business coaching. So tune in, have any questions, let me know. Hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye for now.